the industry in Latvia is like really tight. If you don't know anyone, you most likely will not get anywhere.
And I remember the radio station, but we walked in the radio station, older lady. You can tell that she likes him. Like, she's like, oh my God, yeah, you're making music, amazing, and this and that. And then, what are you singing on? And he's like, English. And she was like, don't.
Not many people right now sitting and doing the same thing that I do right now.
So that has also been a plus of journaling, how they call diary. I call it a journal. It's less gayer. It's not like I have a problem with the other name, but you know, I'm Venezuelan. If I would say I have a diary, my friends would start bullying me. Hello, guys. Welcome to Santiago's Creative Journey podcast. This time I have Esmeralda. She's a singer-songwriter, music producer, and she was the first host on the radio that played my English songs here in Latvia. So I'm in eternal grateful debt to her because it was a wild experience for myself to see that happen. And she's just a lovely person. She is carrying somebody with her. You'll see it in the podcast. And we're going to talk about music, the industry, her process, my process, comparing processes are artists, because I'm always trying to understand how other people are doing stuff to see what can I implement in my own journey. She had very, very cool insights and ideas. And she's also beautiful and has a great personality. So enjoy. Hello, finally. Sorry for the little time that it takes us to get ready, but you know, we're starting in this, so we need, as you can see, everybody's doing 25,000 things. It's a completely different experience than when I went to your program, that everything was set up. I just walked in and did my interview. Here's a little bit, but we're starting, so.
Yeah.
Yes, last time we met was in your studio.
Yes.
In that
National radio.
National radio, but for me it was very, very, like after I had like a very surreal experience, because when I started with music was because of a friend of mine that I will tag in one reel because I have never told him. I don't even know if he remembers, but he told me, I was doing music videos as a director, and he told me, you should get into music. I'm like, I don't know anything about music. And he said to me, like, you know everything about music. You've been next to us all this time. And I was like, well, maybe at some point. And when I was at your program, caught to that moment, I was very kind of like mind blown, because I'm like, from that conversation, 7-8 years later, I'm in Latvia in a radio station, and I'm gonna hear my music through the. It's crazy. That was crazy for me. Completely crazy, because it's not like I was starting. I had already a career, so. That was kind of crazy. So first of all, I'm very, very thankful that you gave us that interview, because the experience is surreal. I still have the live in my feed, because I remember, I'm gonna want to see this after, like what it was going through my head. But I was like very, like kind of like, you know, those experiences that you're out of body, that you're like looking at yourself from outside. So long intro. How have you been? Tell me.
I've been good. I just finished actually recently working there.
Okay.
And now I have a beautiful summer ahead of me.
Yes.
Growing a baby.
Okay.
And next chapter is unlocked, and everything is going differently.
Okay.
Not as I thought it would be, but
how did you thought it would be?
Well, this chapter of my life was not planned.
Okay.
So it came like a cold shower.
Okay.
And after that, I just knew that everything happens for a reason, I guess. And I have to like redo my like planning, in my head, because I thought that this summer will be summer when I release my first album.
Okay.
And do some music and concerts, and I had already been scheduled for a couple of concerts and events, and that all just, it was
had
like...
to wait. It's gonna have to wait.
Yeah, we postponed it.
Let's call it that, like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. No, like when I learned the news that you weren't coming here alone, I was like, wow, because I know you released some music not so long ago, like, or a song or a couple of songs that I saw that you were releasing online. And I know everybody, summer season is when they like to play and stuff. So I never expected. Well, it's not like we know each other so much that it was like
Yeah.
a surprise. But I would have never, if you would have asked me, I would have never said that. But how are you feeling in this next chapter?
Excited. Now I
Okay.
feel excited. I was scared for the first
As you
months.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's something new and something unexpected, and but now I'm excited. I can't wait what this chapter brings me, and also I have all summer for me to do all my creative stuff with music, and that's beautiful because I have nothing else to do
Okay.
besides growing,
Taking care of yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's a beautiful time right now.
But
And
you've been like home, like writing, prepping some music. When you say that you have had, like, you're right now alone creatively, what do you mean specifically?
well, I started actually. I can tell a bit more about my past in music. I started last year. I had this New Year resolution that I will release a song each month.
Last year, 2024 or
Yes,
2024. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it was like a start for me to produce as an solo independent artist, to produce, to mix and master all by myself, like
Oh, wow.
while teaching myself to do that, all
Okay.
that. Also singing and everything. And I have this home studio, and I started off with exactly this microphone
Okay.
and a computer, and I had nothing else. And over time, I have had more stuff and more knowledge, and and then try to release a song each month.
Okay.
I did that last year. And actually, last year I started also working in radio. We also had this Narnija hit, if you
Okay.
know the song.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one that I saw that you released.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it was.
That was last year already.
Yeah.
Okay,
it was-
okay.
Yeah. It's like over a year, I think.
Yeah, because the interview that we did, I think it was but the interview that we did was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a little bit after, because I remember seeing it. I saw it. So if I saw it, we had already met. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like a really huge year, yes, this past year for me. And after that, I knew that I want to do something bigger, something more. I want to make an album, because I had like so many demos and so many ideas to like put together. And I started doing that, and everything changed for me.
Okay.
So I'd say last 2 years of my life has been like continuing like transformation for me.
Okay.
Like something new is coming into my life. I try to adapt to it, and then something again new happens to me, and
Okay.
I adapt to it again, and
Okay.
like continuing adaptation.
I have so many questions. Let me start with the first one is, why did you come about with that New Year's resolution that you wanted to do one song every month? And that you would do everything? Like, why did you came to that resolution?
Well, I've always been like a person where I like to do everything myself, like a self-made everything, like
Okay.
a one-person orchestra.
Okay.
And I knew that I had to start at some point, because I was working in a completely different industry before.
Which one?
I was working in fitness
Okay.
for 5 years.
Like trainer?
Yeah, like I was
wow.
a trainer, like a personal trainer, group trainer, every kind of trainer. I
Okay.
tried everything. Then I dropped it because I knew that I was not in the space where I can like fulfill my potential. But the music has been with me from, I think, childhood, because I've always enjoyed performing and singing, and but I never allowed myself to really like dream, like make this dream come true, because I thought, who am I? Because I have no like degree in music, and I don't have anything, like any knowledge. I just have my voice, and I have my like intuition, and I have this musical feeling inside of me, and I
And
hear
your
melodies,
taste. Yes.
and everything, and after 5 years, I decided that I have to quit. I have to like do a full 180
Okay.
and try to do it. And the only way at that time for me was to do it all by myself, because I didn't have enough like contacts in the music scheme here, because I was just moving to Riga. Also, I was like trying to get comfortable living here, because
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Valmiera.
Okay.
It's
I've
a
been there.
smaller city. It's
Yes.
quieter. It's
Yeah.
like a family city, and nothing happens there.
Okay.
To be honest.
They have a great, I don't know if it's still there, the cable park that you swing across the cables.
Yes, 4 times.
I love it. I have a video on a story on Instagram when I went there. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Little sorry that I'm interrupting you, but it's worth mentioning. Like, let me tell you. Okay, so you moved here. You were adapting, and you were like, "I'm gonna go full on music."
Yeah. At that time, I was still like doing some fitness stuff for just for income, and also when I moved to Riga, the salary here for the profession was also higher, and But then I quit completely. Then I was unemployed. I had this, unemployment checks that you have. Yeah. And from that on, I just started like intensively like tap into music and try to do like piano lessons. I remember I met my piano teacher randomly one Friday night at the club. He was playing piano just... you couldn't hear what he was playing because the music was so loud, but he was like so into it. And I went to him and I was like, can you teach me to play piano? And he was like, actually, I'm a teacher. And I'm, Friday night, you are like talking to people. And the next morning, I remember that I texted him and I like crossed my fingers. I hope he remembers me. And from that on, I think about a year, once a week, we had like
piano lessons.
Yeah. And he taught me like everything about chords and chord progressions. And each time I went with a song and we just like discovered everything that's in the song.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like very helpful for me because I love to play piano. I've always dreamed about that, but I don't have any music like
training.
Yeah. I just only have my ears, and now I'm at the point that if I have some melodies in my head, I can sit by the piano and I can like.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I
but
can't.
It took me time because you have to have some kind of knowledge there.
For sure, and you have to have the practice, and I'm guessing.
Yeah. And I'd say the breakthrough was when I got noticed by an artist, Arvis Reiks, from the group.
I know him.
Olas.
Yeah, yes. I know him.
And he texted me and he invited me to this.
Where did he when you say discover, where did he discover
Instagram.
You? Because you were putting your music on Instagram.
I was putting like covers.
Okay.
Like I was playing piano and singing, and I was doing covers. I didn't.
Tell me one artist that you have made covers of. I'm trying to understand your musical taste, what you like.
Do you know her?
Yes. I don't remember songs out of my head, but I know who.
I was doing a song cover by her. It was a song called, oh my God, what was it called?
Is it still on your Instagram? I'll go and check it out.
It's still on my Instagram because it's a significant moment in my life.
Okay.
Because sometimes I like go through my content and I delete something because I cringe about it.
Oh my God! Don't tell me about that.
Yeah. But that one is still there. I think.
I survived the cringe exam.
Yeah.
Okay.
And about Drake. rakes.
Okay.
Latvian Drake.
Wow,
He
that's-
texted me and he invited me to this song writing session. It was a first time for me to like collaborate with the
somebody
known,
else.
yeah,
Okay.
artist, and we wrote a song together. And that was my first experience with a song that we went to radio stations, multiple radio stations actually. I think it was like 3 stations, including that one which I worked.
Yes.
And
And you worked after the song?
after
Oh, nice.
everything happened after.
Nice.
Yeah, so everything happened really fast for me in music. And yeah, we did that. And the second time we met up was when we did Narnija.
That was the song that I heard.
Yeah.
That's the one that I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, when we got together, it was a different producer at that time. And I remember the producer like played the beat. It was like a small sample of just like piano, like loop.
Okay.
And I remember sitting there and I had this melody in my head and I started to humming it. And they were like, okay, what are you doing there? Let's
More.
record it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we recorded like I think it was like 3 minutes, and you know the chorus was done.
Okay.
It was like this.
Like this.
And
Do you normally, when you record, you make first the melody and then the lyrics? Yes. Or was that time how it happened? But it's not like a rule.
When I started, it was like that. Because yeah, the melody was first, and after that I struggled with words because when I started, I wrote in English, but then I knew that I have to write in Latvian because if I want to like build an audience here,
and be
then
played by the radio.
Yeah, you have to like do it. And yeah, it was melodies, but now I'd say I do a lot of writing as well. So I have like ideas, and if I play something or like do some chord progressions, I can like put the melody into words already. So it's a upgrade for me because
but music first, you feel?
Yeah, for sure, sure. Beats, I remember producing, I started off with just learning how to make beats. Okay. Just, kick, snare, and,
The drums,
some chords, and, I'm a beat maker. And just trying to do something there. And, yeah.
But I'm getting the vibe that it came more like you were like very artistically thirsty. And then you just wanted to jump in. In music. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, the music was my first choice.
But if you have to choose of all the things, can you choose one? Or you're like me that you cannot choose one? You want to do it all?
Right now, I want to do it all because also from the process, I am learning a lot. Okay. And as... the more I do it, the better I get, and I can see the progress that I've made over these 2 years, and I'm just excited to see where this goes. Okay. Because I remember I was struggling so much because the music production is so hard. It is hard, especially the mixing and mastering. I remember like learning about these words and not having
I don't touch any of that. And listen, when I've worked here, I made a podcast with him. Fax is the one that mixes and masters for me. When I've done the live sessions while we're doing the last weeks of the mix, I was like, bro, I'm never getting into this. Like, this is just, that ship for me sailed already. Well, and I also feel that I'm deaf from one ear, so I don't feel that it's my best. I have like a general idea, but I know that to be very good at that, you really need to have a really good ear.
Yeah. And I think I have that. I've always had that because I always hear something. If it's something like small details, I can hear them.
Amazing.
And I don't know. We don't have that many actually female producers here in Latvia.
I've,
I
I've
know.
heard you're the first one that I'm hearing that is even trying to. Well, I do know a couple of friends that they have made music that are girl that they write some chords and whatever. But when it gets to the point of the song, they just let it go for somebody else.
Yeah, because it's long hours. You have to be really dedicated to just spend a lot of time on one song, and if you're stuck, for example, if you have a good idea and you want to finish it, if you have a deadline, it's hard because you repeatedly listen to it all the time, and you get like, you overthink a lot, and you start to like doubt everything. And at that point, I taught myself that I have to stop. I have to listen to completely different tracks. I have to like put it away for a few days or
Whatever,
forget about it.
Okay.
And then come back to it, and with a fresh ear, just try to finish it as fast as I can, and leave it. Don't touch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So deadlines work for you?
Yeah, for sure. Nothing happens without deadlines. Yeah. I remember this last year when I had this like resolution to release a song each month. It's like a really short period of time actually to release a song, like a full, from nothing to a full mastered song. It's a lot of work, and especially at that time, I remember I was learning so much about it. I was like, every YouTube video that you have out there about mixing and mastering, I probably watched it. Yeah, and it was really hard, and because I had to like understand it completely. What compression mean? What equalizer mean? What are these things? Why do I need those? And I can hear like in my songs actually that I also progress with my first song was like, it was a really boring beat. It just
a loop.
A loop,
okay.
yeah. I maybe switched like a bass for the second part, or put a percussion something, or
in the chorus.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I tried to like do it really good vocally.
Okay.
Like a lot of harmonies, a lot of interesting like ideas there. But the beat was it was trash. But still, to this day, I know that it's in radio rotation in Latvia.
So it wasn't that bad.
It's also like a huge thing for like accomplishment for. This was my first song, and it was success.
Okay,
like
that's cool.
It was not like, oh, it's trash. We're not gonna play it.
Okay.
They actually played it.
Okay.
And with that song, I remember, it was my first time for a solo artist to go to radio and talk about that. Also Radio 5 where I worked.
Okay.
But everything happened after Narnija, I guess, because it was a hit. It was like my input, I'd say, in this song was 2 sessions. So first session when we like got this idea, and the second session when we wrote all the vocals and stuff, and just that was it for me.
Okay.
And we released it, and then it got big, I think, after just a month.
Okay.
When we reached all these views, I think TikTok was the platform that we used for that, and it got huge. Yeah. Good.
It's cool. It's cool to hear. It's cool to hear it. I had no idea that you were making music, that you came from fitness, even less. But it's cool. It's cool to hear the journey of like, I myself, I'm in my own journey, and mine is completely different than yours, but it's cool to, I really like to see what are the things that we all go through. Yeah, that, for example, that thing that, Emil's that is there, he raps, and I tell him like, everything you do at the beginning, you're gonna hate it, and until like 2 years after, you'll be mature enough to really appreciate what you did. But at the moment, you're just so zoom in that, I remember I was telling this story that I remember, I got to, because I was very happy writing music. And I was writing music because I had an artist before that I was working with, and he got in a creative block. But I knew that I have friends that they're very big in the music industry worldwide. And my friend gave me one tip. And well, maybe he gave me a bunch of tips, but this is a very, very good friend of mine. And the first thing he told me, can he do three? When I said, oh, I'm going to start working with this guy, he told me, can he do 300 songs? And I was like, 300? I'm like, and I asked my artist, yeah, I can do 300. And my friend explained, if he can't do 300, don't even try it. You need at least 300 songs to have a chance. Then we'll talk. But do 300 songs. Mm-hmm. And that stuck to me. And he explained me, if you would open, specifically, like if you're in Latin America, he says, like, imagine you get a hit and you only have one song. They're going to click on your Spotify profile. There's not going to be anything else there. And everything is gone. All that attention, all that heart click, all that hot moment that the people is going to find you, they're going to get there and they have nothing else to consume. So you want to have a catalog so that when people have their go there, they can stay with you, come back many more times. So for me, 300 songs, I made it as one song a week for basically 6 years. So because it's 50 weeks in a year, yeah. So for me, it was like, we need a crazy amount of music, yeah? And I was under the impression, because when I started working with my artist, he had already some songs. And when we went to record them, everything happened very fast. The thing is, like, at that moment, I couldn't understand that the music that we were making, he already had it. So for me, everything, he was making it at the moment. So I'm like, oh yeah, we can definitely hit this space. After I understood that, you need to be kind of, I think for the kind of quantity that you need worldwide, you need to have, you need to be kind of broken in your head. Because if you have any type of, how to say, that you self-reflect, you're gonna cringe, you're gonna feel it's not good enough, and you will stop. Yeah. So you need to be able to just put out garbage in your own eyes. I'm not saying that objectively it's garbage, but you're gonna feel, oh, I could be doing a better job.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how I started, because I felt, well, this is such a crazy amount of volume that I need to write so that we have as many songs. But when I made my movie, I needed to write the songs for my movie, because I wanted kind of, I like movies that they have a theme song, yeah? But that is not this is very cringy to me. I don't know if it's for everybody. When I see a movie that has a pop song, that is pop outside of the movie, I cringe in the movie. I cannot even. So, for example, a movie with I Got a Feeling from Black Eyed Peas, I can't watch that because I have too many memories with I Got a Feeling. And it straight up takes me out of the thing. But when we started making the movie, I had two artists that I had worked with that I was like, okay, I'm going to get my music done. Like, I don't have, as a director, it's kind of a fear it was a fear for me because my career was mainly done in music videos. So when I was making or television or anything narrative, I would always run into the problem of the music, because I was so used to just getting the music at first, that then when I would have to talk to a musician, oh, but what do you want? I'm like, something cool. I don't even know how to explain it. So when we were going to record, the two artists that I had, one had like a creative revelation and no, I want to sing this way. And the other one, she was in a creative hiatus. She was like, oh, I need to rethink my career and this and that. And I got so paranoid that I had, again, no music, but I'm making something that is very complex, important for me, which was the movie. And then we came to the conclusion, me and the producer, that I had to sing the song. And I just went and hired everybody that I knew was good at everything. And I think that's why I like so much the music in my movies, because I just was like, oh, I like what I did with the movie a lot. I need the best people that I can find in everything. And then yeah, that's how I got to work with Patricia, with Facts, with my Lithuanian producer that made the beats of the songs. And but after that, now I'm not looking back, because if you have made movies, making music is just so easy. Not in terms of that I think it's easier to make good music. It's easier in terms of time. Doesn't matter. It's shorter to make a song than to make a movie.
Sure. Yeah.
So in that way, it feels so much refreshing, because it's something that I can do alone, like you're saying. Like right now, I have my mini studio in my house. I just sit there, put music, I start singing, I write something, I have ideas. I'm the other way around. I write lyrics first. Right now, I'm recording a song that I did melody first. A nightmare. I can't work like this. Like, it's just like, I just can't. It's just because I have a great first verse. I like the chorus. The second verse is like, what am I even doing? Who wrote it? It's like bipolar, because I just went with a melody that I like. I'll figure out if I can fix it or not. And if not, I still release it with my bipolarity and whatever. I'm gonna embrace the process. But yeah, it has been a completely different journey. But there are things that still are in common. When I started recording, I hated my voice. Yeah, like that's the first thing that I remember being with Patricia in the because she recorded her song first, and she would come into the booth, out of the booth, and she would be, play it. Yeah, I like it. And I'm like, well, she likes how she sings. Of course she can be a singer. And then, but at the beginning, it's just, you gotta get used to it. Now I love it. I hear myself, I'm like, oh my God, I love it. But before I was like, you need to go through that process. But it's cool that everybody goes through the same.
Yeah. It's a really vulnerable process. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, for me, it was like doing something practical, like completely different, like fitness. I mean, what? Like, it's like, what do you even do there creatively? Yeah. And then from that to like putting out songs that come from my, like, this vulnerable space.
Yes.
Also, everything that you said about hearing yourself and like all the producing stuff that I did. I cringed everything, but I still did it because I had a deadline. I had like this goal, and I knew that this is the way, and I have no other way. I have no other options.
That's good.
And it opened so many doors for me.
Yeah.
It opened like everything for me. And
that's cool.
From that point, I mean, last year, everything changed, like everything. When like every month that I finished a song, actually, what I remember about that process, I was a bit like, because you work so hard for one song, then you release it, and then you have to like do the second, like the next one. Yeah. And you jump to next one, and you completely forget about what you just did, what you just accomplished. And it was hard for me because I wanted to celebrate that. But if you want to celebrate that, then you have to put more effort into it. You have to do all the social media stuff. I tried to do it, but it was like really like just a tiny bit. It was maybe 2 or 3 posts about it. Here you go, here's a song, I released it, it's about this and that. And then I just moved on to the next one. And after this year, I just realized that I have to like do a bigger project, like an album, like a whole story about it. And, it's like a movie, I guess. Like, it's
it's way harder to make an album than a song, for sure.
Because because there's a deeper meaning into it.
Yeah.
And you can tell the story afterwards, and but the singles were really like a breakthrough, like a push, and thanks to that, a lot of doors opened as well. The radio, because I remember sitting in my car. I was just driving down to. We have this system in Latvia that all the plastic bottles you can put away.
Yeah.
And I was driving in my car to do that, and I received a message from the radio DJ, Toms Greviņš.
Okay.
And he just texted me out of nowhere. We have never talked before in my life. like never. And
How did he got your number? Found it out. Found it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Know
it
somebody
was
that.
out there.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, Esmeralda, want to try to work in radio?" And I remember seeing that message, and I was like, "What? Me?"
Yeah.
Like, I never imagined like being in that
Space.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, I went there and I thought you had been there all your life. I could never tell.
Thank you. That's a compliment because it was actually also really hard for me because I'm really introvert. It's not my first instinct to approach people and talk to them. I'm more of a observer, and yeah, I have a just small circle around me with the close people, and I don't like, I'm not extrovert.
Okay.
And this radio role for me was breakthroughing as well for my personality because I had to do interviews. I had to like speak publicly my own ideas, my own
Yeah.
everything, and
Trust
share,
that intuition.
yeah,
Okay.
share my musical taste, share my ideas, everything through just sitting in a studio where physically no one's there.
Yeah.
But you mentally know that everybody is listening.
No.
And some days are harder, some days are easier because some days you forget because it becomes a routine, and you go there, you feel more free, and then you say something really dumb, and someone texts you.
Okay.
What did you just say? Or I remember I had like when I started, it was so many like cringy things. I couldn't finish a sentence, for example, or like I started an idea and then I finished it in a completely different direction. Like I started talking about dogs and I finished like talking about asteroids.
Yes. I still do to this
Yes.
day do that in this podcast, and I'm like, where did I go? But
Yes. It was like that for me. But yeah, it was such a great opportunity for me. I'm till this day I'm a bit sad that it has ended.
Okay.
For me, I think it was maybe too early because I wanted to stay a bit longer, maybe a year longer, just to see where it goes. You know, when you can, because you can gain a lot of contacts there. You can gain a lot of networking because of the people who are coming to the studio, and you are like talking to them, and it becomes like maybe not a friendship at first, but it's like you gain like contacts.
Yeah.
And for me, it was huge because as an independent artist, I need those. I need those connections. I need to see other artists just like me that come to studio with their singles or albums, and they talk about their journey, and it's really inspiring. And yeah, but we'll see. It was a chapter of my life, and I really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate that you're saying that.
No, I could have never
feeling.
told. No, and I will tell you something. If it's in your cards, you'll be at the radio in the future. Like you'll figure it out. Like I think it has to be cool, like as an artist, to understand what is happening from the industry side.
Yeah, for sure. It was really great to see what people like, and to be on the pulse of all the charts and what's happening in music here in Latvia, also worldwide. What do people like? What is popular? And it was really huge for me also for producing music, because I had like, okay, this is trendy now, like some kind of sounds or ideas to talk about, and it was inspiring. Yeah.
How's your writing process?
I actually right now I started doing morning pages. I write right after I wake up. I write 3 pages, just free writing.
Yeah, whatever
just
is in your
writing.
head. I used to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but for I think 4 or 5 years now, I do daily not daily maybe, but when I have like inspiration, I do my diary. I just put down ideas or feelings or events that happened, just to make track of it. And it's interesting because I have diaries from 4 years ago, when I was just dreaming about like everything
That
that
happened
I'm
after.
doing now,
Yes.
like this life. And it's mind-blowing to read that, because I remember learning about what is manifesting, or
Yeah.
what does it mean, what do you have to do to like manifest. And I just started to write down, be vulnerable again with myself, because it's really hard to like put down on a paper in front of you your really like deep dreams that you want to achieve someday, and they are, you know, maybe not reachable, I guess, like for your whatever. And
I get it. I get it.
yeah,
I get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you just write them down, and don't think about it. Just write them down. They sound stupid, they sound weird. Just write them down. And yeah, I remember when I was 3 or 4 years ago, when I wrote those things, I couldn't imagine the pathway. How would I get there? And right now, when I reread them, I'm just amazed, like how
How we
you're,
planned out.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. But for music, I write. I have a schedule, like weekly schedule. I do it once or twice a week, just writing lyrics,
Okay.
just putting ideas. Right now for album, I am, I have all these songs.
How many?
When I started to collect them, it was 60.
60 songs.
60 songs, but it was like just demos. But it was like good demos.
Jesus Christ. Well, you're in good page for those
No,
300. You're in
but
good pace. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
reduced down to, I think, 12 or 14 or something like that.
But you have like a hook or a complete song, an idea, like a draft, or like something that is very, like, how far from having it ready would you say are all those songs?
Right now, I think it's 50%.
50%. Okay. Well, but that's
because
pretty
I
good.
have 3 or 4 songs that are done, that I have to like only just mix and master. And the other ones you have to finish. For example, some songs I have to finish production, some songs I have to finish lyrics, some songs I have to finish like second verses or bridges or something like that. So
Okay.
unfinished
Okay.
business there.
Okay.
And for those unfinished songs, I do these sessions once or twice a week when I open the projects and just, try to tap in to idea. And
Okay.
I try to write down as many things that goes through my head.
Amazing. 20. You said you're down to 20.
12.
To 12.
12 or
Okay.
14.
Okay.
I have to write it down to know. But
You have the name of the album that you could disclose or no?
I don't have the name.
Okay.
I don't have the name, but it will be like water themed.
Okay.
Because water represents emotions.
Okay.
And it will be a really like a dive into my personal space, like what's happening in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And,
interesting. It's weird that I've interviewed many musicians. I'm trying to remember how many. But you talk more like I expect a musician to talk than them. It's weird. I don't even know how to put it on how to explain it. But you're very, like, I'm understanding what you're saying, and I have a sense and a feeling of a journey and how you're trying to express something that is very personal and profound. And a lot of people that I've interviewed are not in that stage. They're more like, they have been more in a struggle of going from, like you've been in the radio, so I think you've experienced this also, that there's a lot of artists that are for what they're gonna get out of it. It's not like what they're gonna put out, but what they're getting, all the views that this, and we all love the views and the recognition, of course.
Yeah.
But I think maybe also because you were doing I'm just throwing ideas, the fitness, then you had the hunger of just expressing yourself, yeah. So, and I feel people that have been expressing themselves for longer, sometimes they lose their track of why am I even here,
Yeah.
know. So that has something that has helped me with me in the music. That is like, I have a career. I have absolutely no expectations from the music, just for the fact that I'm making music for the movies that I'm gonna make, and that's it. And that saves me so many troubles
Yeah.
that I'm super happy doing that. So,
Yeah.
and of course you fall in love doing things, because when you have even if it's a small audience, you start enjoying doing the things, yeah. And because you find purpose, but my joy is just writing the songs. I have a blast writing songs. It's just that process of like, and I have to make a little video about it that I tell everybody. But for me, writing a song is like going into a dark cave with a flashlight, and then you go and then you see, oh, there's somebody painted like a lion there. So you come outside, you paint the lion, you go inside again, and then you see now there's a wolf there, and you paint, and then you make that trip many times, and at the end you see a full painting of what it was inside the cave, and you are as impressed as anybody else, because I had no idea that I was going to write that song.
Yeah.
So when I hear you talk like that. And I've heard talk with a lot of people, and I feel that a lot of people that are musicians, that they talk in a more business way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's your experience too.
Well, I can see that. For me, I think it's the routine that you stick to. You just have to plan through a whole week or whole month what you're gonna do, and then you do it. It's not like I enjoy doing everything in music production and writing and singing. Of course, I have these blocks and lack of creativity, and but what I've noticed then that when I let go of every doubt in my mind and just sit and just do it into it, like from my heart, just I make something great.
Okay.
Which at the end of the day I'm really proud of, and I want to like finish it. Because I feel like this is like something huge. I don't know. For the album, actually, I told you that I had like 60 songs.
Yeah.
Demos. It's not like
no,
full
no, I
songs.
get it. Yeah.
Just demos.
Yeah.
But I had more. Yeah. So I had to go through all of them to just reduce them down. And it was 60. And I was like, okay, I have to like reduce it because there's it's not possible to make an album with 60 songs. Nobody's gonna listen to that.
Well, you have 3 albums.
No,
there.
you can put out like a trilogy or something, maybe. And then I went through them all, and I felt that in every demo, in those 60 demos, I felt that feeling that I had when I made it. That, oh my God, this could be something great. But I had to reduce it, and I had to like go through them again and listen to them. And what I've noticed that when I listened to them, I got so inspired that I've made these. Yes. Oh my God, these are my treasures. These are my babies. Yeah. And I got so inspired that I wanted to start from zero. And a lot of times when I go through my demos, or like, okay, I wake up in the morning and I sit by my computer and I turn on this FL Studio and I go inside of it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can try to do something like new this time. Just, try something. And I end up like doing 6 hours of just like producing and like singing ideas. And at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I
Okay.
love this because, the process is getting faster. And the ideas are like putting together like puzzle, like everything flows. And those moments I really appreciate it. But most of the time it's just routine that you come back to those songs and just try to finish them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you about your process, and it's interesting because I'm thinking about my own. I have an idea. I just, of course, I do feel that every time that I have an idea of, I want to make a song about this, it's something that is aching me inside. So I know that, for example, the song that I wrote for the movie, I have 3 songs. I have a ballad that I had written to my girlfriend, and it's a beautiful ballad. And I was like, okay, this song I could, but I had that song already. So I was like, I could use it in this part, in the romantic moment. And of course, I wrote it as a guy to a girl, and I rewrote it as a girl to a guy, yeah, because it was sung by a girl. And then I knew that I had the moment of the guy and the moment of the girl. And I was what the guy would tell to the girl and how the girl would sing it back. So the Patricia song and my song, they have basically the same hook, but it's differently sang. One is the more you deny, the sure I'll be. I'm never gonna remember the other one, because if I remember one, the more you deny, the sure I'll be. You're just like me. It's the same hook, yeah. But it's the one told from the lady's point of view and the other one from the guy's point of view. But that idea, I know this is what the character would have said to that girl. And I hear that song and I'm like, this movie is based in my life. And I'm like, this is a song that if I would have been 22 when I lived some of the things that happened in the movie, if I would have written that song, I would have written that song. So it works because I don't need to like it or not. I can recognize that it's true. So every time I go by songs, I go like that. This is important for me. And then when I write it, you can feel, however, but you see the truth. So you can always say, oh, of course, like, oh, I understand why I wrote this. But the thing that I do is that I'm going to have a session. There's many things I'm going to like, many things I'm not going to like. And I just iterate until the things that I'm not liking, now I like. So, for example, right now I have a song that we have to finish for the EP, and the producer haven't sent the vocals. And I have a line that I'm like, this is fucking stupid. And I haven't sent it. I should make it better because I still have time. So that's how I go about it. Because there's always something that you're like, I don't like how this sounds. And I just try to make it. But I have a race to finish. I am super fast. Of course, I'm not producing the music. And I work with beats that are already made.
Yeah.
Because I feel that it's easier for me to have the idea and then just put it in the place of the beat than trying to express to my producer, okay, the song is about this and this is what I want. Because when you hear a good beat, you know you like it. It's easy. Oh yeah, this is vibey. So I remember the song that I did for the movie. We had a completely different beat that I didn't like at all. I went because my producer has a Telegram channel, had a bunch of beats there. I'm like, this sounds super Latin American. I'm gonna do it in this one. So I'll fix everything to fit there. And it happened super fast. But it is because I have a very clear idea. What I want to is talk about this, and the fastest I talk is the best I could do at that moment. So I'm just not gonna super obsess. But as I tell you, I have other things. So this has really freed me in making music. That is like, I'm just doing it for the fun. And that has really helped me back to making movies. Because right now I just wrote a movie. I wrote an EP, and the EP I wrote many scripts of all the music videos that I wanted to do. And a friend of mine told me, can we make a movie with all these ideas together? And I'm like, no, because then I'm gonna have to wait to release the EP. And he said, well, can we put something, and then you just in the music videos give a little bit of a glimpse of what's gonna happen? And I was like, that's actually not a bad idea. So I went and wrote the movie like literally in 3 days. And but when I'm writing, I used to write how they taught me in school. Okay, the character, this is the drama, this is the arc, what is the information that people need to understand what is happening. You have to describe how this lady, where she comes from, so that when the things are happening, you can relate to the character. But now I have this I got from music. Now that I was writing this music video, this movie, that I didn't have when I wrote Vulgar, that is like, do I want to see this scene? Is this scene cool for me? It's not about like story, because I think the best thing I did with Vulgar was the story. And not even the screenplay, just the story. Okay, if this would happen to somebody, this is what the person learns. I feel this when I see the movie, I'm like, this is the best thing I did. There's many other moments that I like, and the acting I like, and the cinematography, and the fact that we shot it so fast with such a little budget in such a tiny camera, and it looks amazing. Blah, blah, blah.
Can you remind me?
Yes.
How much days it took you to?
12.
12 days.
12 days to shoot it.
Now
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Such a short time.
Sure. And didn't have 1 hour extra. Well, we had 1.5. But because we didn't have extra hours, I didn't even have to pay for them, because it was the first fucking production that people didn't have extra hours. And so everybody was like, yeah, it's like this. And the movie was edited like 2 days after we finished the shot, because I was editing while I wasn't. The editor was while we were shooting. But what I have right now is that how, even if I have a scene that I have right now, I have a movie about 2 brothers. I was like, okay, I have to explain what is the relationship between them. What is this cool? Is this cool? Are they doing something cool? Are they doing something that I like, that I feel, oh, wow, I want to see this? I didn't have that before, because I went to film school. So it's more about character, and is this truthful? And this, now it needs to be truthful, but it also needs to be cool. Cool in the sense of not maybe blockbustery. Well, this is a psychological horror, what I wrote, but in the sense of like, is this a scene that I want to see? And then I'm going to be like, fuck yeah. Like that factor that I have it when I write music. Because music is just about, I feel it sounds cool. Oh, I like this melody. Oh, I like how this sounds. I like how this rhyme sounds. How I put it, this verse with this, and connected the rhyme. This is what I like. This is what, when I'm writing, I'm like, oh, I like how I did this melody here. I like this progression. I like this. So now that has also come to my filmmaking. And I think I would have never been able to do it in filmmaking if I hadn't started music. And it's just because of one thing. Filmmaking, you have to do a lot of brain. It's a lot with the brain, because you need to shoot it. So while I'm creating here my storyboard, I'm like, let's say we're making a movie and you're just seeing your baby. I'm like, okay, I'm drawing you and walking, the baby's coming, and you're, oh my God, you're all there. Yeah. It's impossible not to think, okay, so the hospital we're renting the hospital. The lights are going to be HMI. The generator is here. The sound guy is here. It's very hard to abstract all that. But in music production, it doesn't matter, because whatever you're going to sing is not going to impact on the price of your song.
Yeah.
The price of the song is, the mixer is going to charge you the same, whether you sing 3 notes up or down, or whether you have harmonies or not. So you're really concentrating. This is cool. I like this. Mm-hmm. And that has really permeated right now. When I was writing this movie, I was like, is this cool? Yes. Oh, I want to see this. Oh, I'm like, this is the dramatic moment. Is this enough? Has this guy learned the lesson? No. He needs more. So that kind of stuff has really changed. But I realized that as an artist, I'm very technical. I needed first, what I like about Vulgar personally, more in my journey, is that it's technically flawless. Yeah. So now I'm like, now that I know that technically everybody can go to a cinema and watch a movie, now I can think about what story I'm going to tell. What I didn't want it is to have a story that people are like, what? What did he say? And what, that technically is not even there, and then they can't enjoy it. So yeah, well, that's the end of my monologue. But it's just but it's just to tell you a little bit how I like comparing processes.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm all
yeah.
the time doing that.
Sure. Yeah. It sounds. I could never imagine making a movie right now.
Yeah,
For me, album is like a huge project right
it
now.
is. But it is. Yeah, no, it is. It is because I have a 6-song EP for now, and I wrote that song that I'm telling you that I wrote first the melody, never again. And I'm not gonna say never again because But and I'm like, well, it's 7. I could make an album. I just need 3 more. But I'm like, no, this I feel energetically I was in a place, and all the songs have kind of this my EP has this kind of like resentment. I was very it was a time in my life, and I'm talking like I wrote it 20 years ago. It was like the first song I wrote it like somewhere like November, past November, that I feel that I don't want to say that I feel betrayed, but more underestimated. I don't know if that's a word. Yes, okay. So there was like a lot of anger there, and also it's anger. That's the main thing that happened while I was like, fuck these people, all this that. Like, because and it started everything just to be, we were talking this off camera, and this is why I wanted to ask you things about the radio, and when we said about some questions and stuff, is that right now I'm going to release the movie in Lithuania in August, and they have been super helpful, super helpful. And right now and in October 9th, I'm going to release it in Venezuela. I was going to do it in July, but I couldn't do both. And I'm just going to say the reality. I moved the Venezuelan time release because my niece is getting married. And she was like, are you going to come to my wedding? And I felt like I haven't gone to anything. I need to go to the wedding. So I was like, why are we even premiering in the time? Let's move it to October. So, but working with Venezuela, like the industry is very together. It's like I call somebody, everybody knows each other, kind of write to this person, yes, I'll help you with this. When we started prepping for the release of the movie, we literally spent all the fucking money we had. So we need favors from everybody. It's not like, of course I want to pay to everybody.
Yeah.
But the people, what they don't understand is that I'm not driving a Lamborghini. Yeah, like if I would be driving a Lamborghini, I'm telling you, okay, can you do me this song for free? I get you being like, bro, explain me the Lamborghini. Yeah,
Right.
like I would get it. But I felt that that a lot of people that I had helped then didn't want to help, and I was very angry. And I was like, yeah, no wonder there's no industry here, because people are not helping each other. If you're not promoting each other, where are you gonna go? Like, how are you gonna grow this? Like, because compared to my country here, there's so little entertainment culture, not even business culture. People don't play the song. I keep on saying, days keep coming. I've never walked here and somebody told me, oh, you need to listen to this song, and it's a Latvian song. That hasn't happened in 9 years. And I'm waiting till the first day it will happen, and I will say it publicly. I say, well, finally it happened that somebody told me, but still it's not happening. In my country, you land on that, you know all the music. It's like, it's everywhere in the culture. But I feel that this kind of like, let's help these people that are starting. Yesterday I was talking with a dancer. I'm like, you should be, I'm going to say this because she's not going to watch this podcast, but it's cool. It's a girl that I used to date, and I wrote a song about her, and she doesn't know. And it's funny because she dances and she dances pretty cool. And she also has a very cool look, like a look that I know in camera. I've done music videos all my life, is gonna look good. So I'm like, you should dance in one of my videos. And she's like, how much are you gonna pay me? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I'm broke. It's like, if I had money, I would pay everybody. That's what I want. But the thing is, like, I understand I have to put time to grow the things so that we can do things together. But it's something that I feel that we could be doing better here. I still feel in Lithuania could be done a little bit better too, but I think Lithuania is 10 years ahead of us, or 20. Yeah. So I don't know how you felt with that in the radio, like the business side of the music. How did you feel with it?
No, in the radio, I think it was I was in a space where we really help new artists to they come to us and we talk to them. They tell their story and people listen to it. And actually, the radio station that I was working in was the audience was like, I think it's like from teenagers to mid 30s 40s
okay.
or something like that. Yeah, because we play a lot of popular music and also like Latvian music. We try to like in an hour we try to play 5 songs that are Latvian. And
Latvian spoken or by Latvian artists?
By Latvian artists.
Okay.
Yeah, and also spoken. And 2 of them must be new artists, new discovered artists.
Okay.
That's what I loved about this radio, because we tried to find these people, and and they also reached out. And for me personally, I discovered a lot of new artists like that.
Okay.
Not knowing, because I remember when I started, I had the same like doubts in my head, because I know the industry in Latvia is like really tight. Mm-hmm. If you don't know anyone, you most likely will not get anywhere. You have to have contacts, you have to have like all these networks, and this radio stuff was really like good for me, because
you got to meet a lot of people.
I got to meet a lot of people, but still, also right now, writing all the music, producing everything by myself. Also, I don't have money growing in trees, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's also one of the reasons why I do it myself, because I don't have to pay a producer to do something. Well, I've worked with producers in the past, but I have this experience doing it myself and giving the idea to a producer to finish it, and I can never finish it with a producer because I don't like it, because all the producers and engineers and everybody else who's involved, they have their own idea about it. And if you have like this really original like thought that you want to like finish it, and it's a lot of work, and you have to like be really, you have to find it somewhere in you to put all these sounds together to sound exactly like you want it to sound. And right now I'm just doing it for myself, because it's a process. I don't know when the album is gonna come out. Hopefully it's gonna be like, I hope it's gonna be successful, of course.
Amen.
Yeah, but I don't know, but I'm doing it for myself. And it's hard because you don't have this reward of the energy you receive back of all the work you've done. You don't have it back. There's nobody like patting on your shoulder. Good job of what you accomplished this week or this month, or how far you've come in this album process. So for me, the radio was really like, I was in a place where I could really see people and tell them, good job. We are really, really proud of you, and we can't wait to see you again here soon.
Yeah.
To just, praise them, to celebrate them. And it was a really, 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 good experience. and it made me, you know my own worth of all the work I'm doing. That it's, you have to have this sense of people recognizing it at some point. Also, I am doing all my social media by myself, and I don't know if you do that as well. You have a team
Well, I
here.
have a
That's
huge
you.
team.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
like 3 more people that are not here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's also a lot of work, and it takes a lot of creative energy from you, and
Yeah.
for you to do it all by yourself. And I have like thought about maybe just dropping the producing and just giving my songs at least to mix and master for somebody else. But yeah, I feel so vulnerable about this album. I want to finish it myself, and I
Okay.
want to see where it goes. And maybe I open again some kind of doors for me as a producer. Maybe people will come to me and for
Yeah.
for service, and that's an income.
Yeah.
That's energy, and you have to find like these things, and you have to really think positively if you like, because it's hard if
Yeah.
you're not receiving back something. It's hard, like you start to doubt it, why you even do it,
Yeah.
why, for what. But for me it's always like, I could this is what I supposed to do. This is why I'm here. Like, I need to do something creatively. uh, that's the, I think, my being, my core. I can feel it, and for me it's music right now, and I want just to see where it takes me, where it goes.
When you started making music, did you feel like a huge transformation, like energetically going from fitness to music, like that your life was so much better, or how was that transformation?
My life was different.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. But different in a good way or in a...
No, in a good way.
Yeah.
I remember I started when the COVID hit,
Okay.
and I had to do my training sessions online, and people not always turning on their cameras, and you're just
Like a crazy person. Yeah.
like by yourself, just staring at yourself and just trying to like, oh my God, it was ridiculous. It was hard, and it was like that actually was one of the turning points as well. That I knew that I have to like do something else.
Yeah.
And I had my little piano at home, and I was just like watching YouTube videos, how to play this, how to play that, and just learning and singing. And I felt so free. I felt so good. Like, it was like a therapy for me. It was like, if I had a shitty day, I sat by the piano, I played, I sang, and I felt just charged back with all
That's
everything.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did feel that, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that's what I would advise you. Like, well, I do feel that in general, I feel creatively everything we have to see it as a marathon, and I feel one of the problems with because one of my things is like, I can't believe that Latvia doesn't have an international huge singer that sings in English. Yeah. And because I just feel that Latvians are so good at music in general, and especially singing. Like music. I would say especially singing, but it's because I know a little bit more about singing than about music, so I can really value how they sing. But most probably, if they will go, if I would know anything about violins, I would say the same. But I feel that because Latvia is so small, when artists are doing things internally, they get success kind of quick, and they don't understand that in the international stage how long it takes. Like, I remember to get my first international music video, it took me, I went to school 2006, and I got it in 2011. It wasn't that much, but but I had done a lot of stuff. It's still 5 years, but it felt like it was 20. Like it felt like I had done everything, and I just felt like, of course, they're gonna find me in London. And a guy flew to Latin America, to Venezuela, to make a music video with me. Super grateful about it. And but that's what I feel that Latvians don't understand in the international stage. That it's just nothing takes less than, let's say you're a genius, 3 years. Let's say you're a genius. Normally it's gonna be more like 5, 7. And if it's 9, it's okay. And of course, if you started at 18, it's going to be at 27. But, it's like Latvia is not and I know this because I also come from a place that when I was starting, Venezuela was going down economically. So that makes you start the race compared to the world way behind, because you cannot... right now you're literally saying, well, maybe I can get money from here. In other places, the person can just zone in. I just want to sing, have the mix recorder here, the producer here, and we'll whip the producer until he gets what I want. It's not, nobody's going to have a voice. There's enough producers that you will find somebody that is going to be Esmeralda how you want it. And until the end, until you don't get it how you want it, he's just not going to sleep. Yeah. And of course, he will have some input, but it's a completely different thing of, I understand that here there's less people, and then you're stuck with what it is. And if the person doesn't want to give a little bit of creative, then you're stuck, and then you have to go and do your own bits and your own production. So, but it takes long. I'm saying this because it takes we work here all the time. It's a huge team. And we're not even at 10% of the results that we want. And but I have no doubt that if I continue doing this for 3 years, I'm going to get everything I want, because that happened before and it will happen again. And you're putting the hours. This is just to tell you, you're putting the hours. Yeah. You're committing the thing. And then the story that you will keep on telling is, but I had to be alone, writing my own thing and this and that, because that's the sacrifice that nobody's willing to do. Yeah. But don't stop. Especially if it's something that refreshes your life and makes it better, just continue doing it, because it's supposed to be hard. Yeah. And it's supposed to be ungrateful. It's like every time I hear, like, I'm going to tell you, I've literally seen somebody share a story with one of my songs, and I feel like, oh my God. For me, that's amazing. Yeah. Because it's a plus. I'm not even expecting anything. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. But yeah, that's interesting.
That's a reward also.
Yes.
That's a huge reward.
It is a huge reward. I'm a little bit guilty. I feel I'm a different beast in the sense I'm very disconnected of the outcome. I really don't care. I really don't care. And I would even say that I have kind of like maybe it's a pathological problem, that the worse it goes, the more I take pride. That it's like I take pride on taking a hit more than giving a hit. Like there's some trauma that may be there, but I've started seeing it, because it's like I was saying in the last podcast to a friend that she's a singer. I'm like, it's very easy to make reels that have 1 million views. It's very hard to make reels that have 0 views, because being successful is very easy. Yeah, everybody's telling you how great you are, and you see the numbers going up, and you see your wallet getting fatter. But doing stuff that nobody wants to do, nobody wants to do it. But if you can do what nobody wants to do, in a way, it makes you feel better than them, because you're like deeper, stronger. It is a sick way of thinking. I'm not saying no, but I've kind of come that way. But I've detached myself too much of the result, and I think it's because you were saying about the social media. If I would have to post, if I would have to write the things, I would go insane. I just can't do it. Like,
you have to do it just like this.
Yeah.
Because if you start overthinking it, it's the same. It's the same story as everything else. And also with the success, you always have expectations about every project,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the end, you're at the finish line, you just finish it, release it, it's done, and just you own it.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
This is what I did.
Yeah.
I know the feeling that you are talking about. This crazy person who thinks that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, also with the hours and long work that you put into whatever you're doing, and yeah, for the one thing that you mentioned was the that you know that you are one of a kind. Probably there's not many people right now sitting and doing the same thing that I do right now. So that's rewarding in a sense. But also when you continue just sticking to a routine, you have to have these, and I discovered this actually recently, that you have to have like at some point you have to look back. For example, I have all my diaries that I reread, and just look back at my past, and that's super rewarding about how long, like what you've done these with all the work you put in, and that is really good feeling, because for the longest time I thought I was stuck because I was doing the same thing all over again, and I was trying to like improvise more with stuff that I was doing in the producing like things, but then I recognized that I'm doing something like new each time that I didn't even recognize, because I just improvised. Like I tried to do it, but I thought I'm doing the same thing, And when I look back at my, for example, for my first beats to my now, I don't use as many samples as I used to. I used to like take sample, just remake it or redo it, then put a beat on it or something like that, or just create from something that's already put out there. But right now, because I try to like do it more like, no, I want to do it myself. I have my MIDI. I want to try to make my own sounds. I want to try to like experiment. Maybe in nature, you go outside, you record something, birds, something sticks, whatever. And you try to do it. It takes time because you have to set up everything, it's a process. But when you finish it, then the next time becomes more easier. It becomes more easier and easier and easier. And you don't notice it because it's like, I'm doing it, the same stuff,
Yeah.
Because for the music production, it feels like you're doing like the same things all over again. If you're starting a beat from nothing to like complete song, it's like a process that you go through, and you have to like it's like pinpoints that you do throughout the process, and it feels the same, but it's not. The outcome each time is like completely different from the project before, and that's interesting. You have to stop at some point and look back and see the progress. Yeah, for sure. And that's rewarding as well.
That is rewarding. That journals help. You have been having journals all your life, diaries?
No, only for, I think, when the COVID hit, I tried to write because I was going insane. I had like really bad depression as well. I was on like medicine, and it was bad for me because I was transitioning, and it was like a lot of things happening in your head. And I was thinking about doing therapy, but I've never done it in my life. I always find that doing something creatively helps me more, and I can express myself through it and just let that shit go, And and then I started to write. I remember okay, I'm gonna write a diary. And the first few pages were like, you know, like a story that you made in your head. It's not like free writing right now that I do every morning, these 3 pages that I just free write everything. If I don't have anything to write, I just write, I don't have anything to write. I don't
I
have
used to do
anything
that
to write.
exercise.
Yeah. And it was so hard for me to like just sit down and write my feelings, or, you know, it was cringy. It was weird. It was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk to myself like this. I don't want to read it. It's too dark. It's too depressing. But then you just build a habit and it becomes easier. And somehow when you like read back, when I read those first pages from 5 years ago, my mind is blown. How far I've come with this self-discovery that you can do just with writing your thoughts or just feelings just on the paper. It's really interesting.
I keep a journal also, but I have had it for so long. I think already 20 years.
Yeah.
All the time. And I even know what is the size, but because I've written for so long that I know how, if the page is too big, then I feel intimidated by the page. If it's too small, I feel like I cannot put up all my thoughts. I have the right size. I have everything. It's with spiral so that my head is not stuck. My hand is not stuck. Yeah. And the same, I feel it like super, I feel it's the best way to learn about yourself.
Yeah,
I think it's basically like a study upon yourself.
Yeah.
And then the same happens. I go and see what I was doing before, and also help me a lot with guilt, because I'm like, bro, you were trying. Yeah, you fucked it up. But I can see you're trying, and you're really trying to make the best decision. You were just so stupid because you were too young, and it's okay. So that has also been a plus of journaling, how they call diary. I call it a journal. It's less gayer. It's not like I have a problem with the other name, but you know, I'm Venezuelan. Okay. If I would say I have a diary, my friends would start bullying me. Esmeralda, I can't believe I didn't know you're making so much music, because I would have loved to hear more of your music, to get a sense of your musical taste. Do you have inspirations musically, like music that you really like?
Yeah, sure. Oh man, when I started to work in radio, my like this bubble of which I was stuck into, I think for the longest time it just exploded, and I just discovered so many more songs that I like, or like genres that I like, and I listen to. I cannot say like one genre. It's not like I like pop and just only pop. I love hip hop. I love jazz. It's just like, for every song that I have, for example, in my album, I have like 3 or 4 reference songs that I like have inspiration from, or try to relate to them, or something that inspires me, or maybe some song has a beat that really like hits you, and you have this idea and you want to make a song, and you feel that you have to have a beat like that, like this song, and you just put that together. So for me, I really love R&B music, because, and I was also in radio. I had like this every Friday. I used to do R&B weekly, like new music.
Okay.
And just going through new music and discovering new artists, and discovering artists' albums, and in this R&B genre, because for me, I think R&B is more soulful. It's like speaks to you differently. And not all songs that you listen to in R&B are songs that you're gonna love at first sight. You
Okay.
have to like really listen to them multiple times to understand like the meaning, because they are so different. The rhythm is different, the harmonies are different, the progressions are wild, and I love that about R&B, because it's like jazz and, you know, some hook
Yeah.
and some bass and drums and everything. It's like magical. I love that. Trying to think of one specific artist. Well, I have a tattoo of Mac Miller
Okay.
reference,
Okay.
because it the first time that I discovered Mac Miller was when he released his album Swimming, and then he passed away.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, because I knew some songs, you know, some hits that he had, but they didn't strike me. And then I, like, after he died, as most artists
Do.
do at some point, you discover them more.
Yeah.
Like you dive into their discography and explore. And for me, this artist like blowed my mind, because he was a rapper. He produced as well almost everything that he did in his songs. Okay, not when he started, because he was working with beat makers and producers, but after a while, he, like this Swimming album and the next album and the album before, he did it a lot by himself, and that really inspired me, because he was so musically tapped in. You could, I don't know, at any day just find him in the studio. Like, he was really into it, and I was hearing that through his music, and I understood that. I had a really deep connection with that. But yeah, and this album is, the Swimming album is something that I come back to when I, you know, need to recharge my... I've listened to the album when I was happy, when I was sad, when I was depressed, when I was angry, all the emotions. Just you listen through it through the whole album, and you're healed. I have this feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just heal. Yeah. That's the one artist that I could like spot out,
Okay.
put a spotlight on him, because he had like a really huge impact for me creatively as well.
Okay. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I would say I'm more like a creative slut. I would say I have too many. I like too many different things, and I have seasons. Like lately, I've had the craziest season. I'm hearing music from the 40s and the 50s, all those
old
like
stuff,
silly love songs. They have something that I like. I don't know what it is. And they're simple, and you can feel that. I'm not. This is gonna sound mean, but there were simpler times. I'm not trying to say that people were simpler, but it's like I feel that right now things are more complicated.
Yeah, for sure.
So I like that joyfulness that is in that music, and that is, it's just like I have a pleasure for bubblegum, how I would say pop things that are escapist. You know, that is like I'm not gonna go and try to. I don't write that way. I write deep problems that I'm having, but when I want to consume, it's like I just tell me that there's a lullaby somewhere over the rainbow, something silly and simple and fun and beautiful. I don't want to know how hard is my life. I'll write about it, but I consuming so. But yeah, I have too many things. I also grew up in the 90s, so I love grunge and rock and 90s rock and that late, like the last rock bands that we had, that was like maybe late 90s, early 2000s. But I also love modern music, and I feel right now Latin American music is everywhere. So it was a weird experience, because when I was growing up, I felt we were pushed a lot of American music, which I loved. I don't mean it in a bad way, but the Michael Jacksons, all the Nirvana's, grunge, whatever. And now it's the other way around. Now wherever I go, I hear Bad Bunny, and I hear the things that we are doing is the other way around. It's kind of wild because I would have never imagined that happening. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Listen, I'm gonna have some questions because they prepare some questions for us. I always like to start with an intro, and I just like to talk. And this was a very long intro. They're gonna say that, but yeah, well, we're getting to know each other here, so I wanted to know a lot. That's what I like about doing podcasts. That is a way for me to get to know people from Latvia.
Yeah,
it's the easiest way.
I never had this opportunity working in radio because the interviews are so short, and you have to talk after or before. Most likely after, because if you talk before, then you have nothing to talk about when you're live. And that is something. Actually, I've thought about podcasts as well because, like you say, it's like a good way to know each other.
For me, has been a complete transformation because when I understood, this I'm gonna get to meet people. Instead of being in a bar, we'll make content, we'll have content to share, and that helps everything. So I've enjoyed that way, so much so that some of my friends that have come that are in the industry, they're like, why is there nothing to drink here? So you had that popular song that exploded everywhere. Did you had any expectations before when you were making it, or how was that?
We had like this for 10 minutes, like this epiphany, like we were like, I think, above ground for a few minutes because we knew that this is going to be huge because it sounded so good and so like you haven't heard something like that in Latvian music. Because it was house with hip hop and this chorus vocals, and it was like something interesting. And after we released it, it didn't blow up for a month, and after that, with a little help from TikTok and friends in TikTok, because when the song is trending, everybody makes something with that song and it blows up. And thankful for that people are using this platform really like a lot in Latvia. That's good. But what came after all the, recognition, well, I mean, I'm still super low key. Nobody really knows me, but I felt what this could be if I put out like a hit song. Like it could be like so fast, life-changing experience, crazy. And I'm really grateful that we did it all together with Arvis, Janis, and Hey Who's That Kid. We were a team, so it was not so frustrating for me alone. Also, the interviews, the concerts that we had after that was really overwhelming. It was first time for me for everything. Like, going on a huge stage, everybody singing like crazy, the song, the energy is like, where am I? Am I dreaming? You have to pinch yourself.
Yes.
And after a while, this was last summer, all 3 months, just crazy. Every concert that we went, after the concert, everybody wants to take a picture of you. Everybody wants to like autographs and stuff. It was like a new experience for me. It was really strange to feel that way because, like I said, my input for the song was so little. It was like I felt I could do more, but there's no room to do more. As like a we were like four people in this, and I didn't expect it. It was huge, great experience, but I'm glad it's like settled down now. It's calmer now. Because if this was my life right now, that everybody like always pointing at me, oh, this is the girl from Narnija, like this is Esmeralda, I would like hate it. Because this is not the music I want to put out. Like it's like a different stuff from what I am doing at my home studio right now. Actually, it's
Okay.
like I said, like a deep dive in myself, and this was a hit.
Okay.
Just two different things, but yeah.
Yeah. Like when I was growing up, when I was growing up, I wasn't, I'm talking like I was 2 at the moment. And I was already a grown up. I had a roommate, he was a #1 artist in my country. And he had many songs that went to #1. And he kind of hated it because that meant that he had to sing that song so many
Everywhere.
times.
Yeah.
And at some moment he gets, you know, and in
Tired of
Venezuela
it.
it's bigger. So you really need to perform that song many times, like 20, 25 times a week. So, and everybody wants to hear that song. And you're like, no, but I'm working on this. And everyone's like, we don't care.
Yeah.
Sing us. And that also, I remember that years after I heard that the guy from Don't Worry, Be Happy, like, don't worry, be happy.
Yeah.
Like that guy that he doesn't sing that song anymore because apparently everybody asks it from them. And you're saying that, and I connected it a little bit of like, yeah, that you have that thing that everybody wants, but you also have the things that you want to bring out yourself.
Yeah. Because for me, it was happening at the same time. I was releasing my like this resolution every month, a song, and also Narnija happened at the same year, and everything was like together. And I was trying to divide my stuff from the Narnija stuff and try to like discover myself in between where am I? And I was enjoying, of course, the new experiences, but I remember thinking to myself, okay, this is an experience. I don't want to like do this every like summer festival, like go with them and sing with them this song, because like you say, like it's after a while, like it gets, you know, not that personal. You don't get that joy that you had like for the first time performing. But yeah, and also like if I do it more with them, and like if I wanted to do for the fame, for the, you know,
the
glam, then everybody would like just recognize me with them. And I remember at some point last summer, people were already recognizing me as a part of their group.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a part of them because I was coming with them when in every concert. I was helping out with some songs, also like singing along and coming out. And we have more songs together, not just Narnia. But yeah, I knew that I have to like disconnect from that to like do my own stuff, because I cannot put those two things together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. I can't. So I'm curious. That's the way. Wait. Well, I like this question. Without giving too much information and disclosing anything, do you think, is there one fake thing about the industry that nobody's talking about that you found out and you're like, oh, I didn't know it was like this?
Fake.
Yeah.
Well, I think in Latvia, in music industry specifically, you have to have this recognition from the big dogs. You know, the big producers, the big everybody artists to be someone, I guess. For me, not like I haven't like had this, but working with other artists, I've heard that that's the case. For example, we have this gold microphone ceremony that's happening like every year, and it's corrupted apparently. Because the owner, the producer, or whatever you call it, the event hoster, he decides who gets. Not the people, not the streams, not the, you know,
Yeah, it's
Like
not a
it's a
popular
yeah, yeah,
vote.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
So that I think was unfair because it happened last year and we knew that we had this like hit and they didn't like even consider us. They
Okay.
had all this evidence that was brought up about him personally talking about like, no, what are you talking about, guys? We're not gonna give this like
To them.
to them because this is a joke.
Yeah.
Because
He doesn't like it, and
no, yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
okay.
That's yeah, and I felt like yeah, that's corrupted in some ways. So I think yeah, I don't know.
I think we need new awards. Like I had I want to say the same experience, but with the movie I was surprised because we applied to the big thing here, and I can't believe that like the main actress didn't got a nomination because I could bet money that Katrina is the only Latvian actress ever. I could bet money on this that she is in almost she is not only in 3 shots of the movie, and it was 685 shots. I'm pretty sure nobody has done 682 shots. I would bet money on that, like because, and the fact that a person cannot recognize that, and the fact that a person cannot see the work that she put, it just talks to me bad about the committee, whoever is making the decision. It's not because I know acting. So not only am I an actor, I went to the biggest and better school that there are, and in the world, and they're not in Latvia. I'm sorry, it's the reality. Nobody's coming to Latvia to study acting. That's a
Yeah.
reality, and the fact that she couldn't get recognized by her own people, especially the role that she has been so complicated, is just mind blown. It's just like I'm like that just speaks bad of the people who are making the decision. It's the same that you're saying. Like, of course, I don't want to talk about your experience because it's different. But what I'm hearing is that if you have something that everybody's loving, that everybody's connecting with, and you as an organizer cannot understand it, you are missing a point. It's not them. It's like it went viral and people are singing it because it's bringing something to the people. And it is your job as an organizer to understand, okay, what is it bringing? It's the same with acting and movies and things. It's like, oh, you have to sit on the shoes of the person doing the job. Is this this is a super complicated. She had to act in a different language with a foreigner director with a story that is non-related to her. It's many things, 682 shots in 12 fucking days. She has to do it like a machine. No time to rehearse, no time to anything. If you can't celebrate that, then you don't know anything
Yeah.
about the things.
Yeah.
But I do feel that the youth, let's call it the youth, needs to organize and bring their own awards.
Yeah.
Whatever. Because I agree. Like if the older people don't get it, they just don't get it. I also get it. I'm like, yeah, what is a guy that from the Soviet times that is now picking awards gonna know anything about popular music or acting, or they just don't know. It was a different times.
It's hard for young people as well to like squeeze into that industry because it's so small.
Yeah.
You cannot like go and say you're doing a terrible job. Let me handle this. Nobody's gonna care about that because they're sitting there pretty comfortably. They're not moving until they're dead, probably.
or we rise up.
Yes.
Or the machine rise up. No,
we as you said, we make our own
Well, I think that's the way. The ways that we're doing our own thing, that we make them irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like that's what I've seen that has happened with the Oscars. Yeah, like the Oscars, they themselves are becoming irrelevant. Like nobody had to raise up, but it's like nobody watches movies from the Oscars anymore because they're just doing a bad job. If you're gonna try to tell me that it's a good movie, I have ears and eyes. It's not. stop it. And no matter how much you give statues and put money and put how to say shine and thing, it's still about movie. It's like we can see the difference between the Fight Club and whatever is being produced right now. Side story, side quest. But okay, cool. Yeah. Well, I think that Well, maybe times have changed. Like I will have to say it like that. Another question that is not here, but that I had in my head: why is it so hard to play the local artists when they sing English music in the radio specifically?
Oh, we in the radio which I've worked in, we had a category dedicated for Latvian musicians who are singing in English, for
In
example.
English, okay.
And we played those songs.
Okay.
We have that category. We play those songs. But I'd say it's more Latvian songs than English songs, because I think, that's the point where I was telling you about that you have to have audience in your own country. So you have to like prove yourself to your audience, then you can move forward.
Yeah.
I think that's the way. Also for me, I want to like put out this album in my like, language, and then move on to whatever, maybe try to do it in English.
Yeah.
And so I've already proven myself. I've already hear our Latvian songs, because for me, it was always easier to write in English because that's the music I consume.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell that about Latvian music until I started working in radio, because
And wait, English as a language is 1,000 times easier than
for
Latvian.
sure.
So I'm guessing that writing in
For
Latvian is a
sure.
whole different
Oh my
beast.
God. It was really hard. I had to read a lot of poetry and books and just discover a way of saying things,
Okay.
expressing things, not just labi slikti,
Yeah.
diving deeper into your emotions in your own language is harder. And if you have to rhyme with that, whoa, hold on. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're getting there. You said that in Latvia we don't have artists that are trying to go viral worldwide, but I knew a few of them actually who are actively putting out music in English and trying to dig their way up climb their way up the ladder in the big music industry. And this I've learned from radio actually, because I was, as I said,
they're meeting
on
new
the
people.
on the pulse as well, and seeing what comes in and what do we consume and what are we proud of and what do we play. And a lot of artists that I discovered, that you hear a song and you are thinking, oh, this is a good song, and then I discover, oh my God, a Latvian made it. I could never imagine. Yeah. I thought it was a hit, a worldwide, because it slams. It's really good song.
Okay.
And this is how I discovered all these artists that we have, these really, but I think they are also really low key in the Latvian scene, because Latvians, I think they care only about Latvians.
Yeah.
They don't really, so if you want to break the
The mold.
Yeah. Just you have to try to find a different audience. And most of them, the Latvians originally who are original Latvians and putting out music in English, they don't live in Latvia anymore. They live in, UK or someplace else.
Yeah.
Just to have this.
I heard an artist here, and what happened to us? Well, when we started was 2000, I think 19, and we went to all the radios, and they played us in one very, very, very little. And one of the things that was in my head while I was in your interview, I was like, I went to all the radios with my local artists that we made songs in English, and nobody wanted to play it. And here I am, went and did my own music, and now I'm here. It's like, how is this even logical? Like, I could have never imagined that. And I was very grateful that you gave us that opportunity, because I went everywhere, and we sent emails and we spammed them many times, and they were like, nope. I remember there was this lady that we walked, I don't remember the name of the lady, and I don't remember the radio station, but we walked in the radio station, older lady, and she's talking to my artist, and you can tell that she likes him. Like, she's like, oh my God, yeah, you're making music, amazing, and this and that. And then, what are you singing on? And he's like, English. And she was like, don't. Like, she got so angry so fast.
Yeah.
And she was like, so you're going to be the only. And I always had that with him. He has such a good English that I was like, you have to do it. If you're not going to do it, who's going to do it? Everybody else that has like a thick English accent, you sound American, you should be pushing it. And also another thing that I saw in a lot of YouTube channels of a lot of local artists is that they will have 2 million views in Latvian, and they will release a song in English that would be like 7,000 views. So I was like, there's no point on doing that if you really want to go to the English, because this is what they were telling us, a lot of people. First, you got to make it in Latvian and then make it in English. And I was like, well, if that would be true, the people who have the 2 million views in Latvian would also have 2 million views in English. And it's like, and it's not, because I understand it. I'm not going to, it's very hard for me that I'm going to consume a Latvian song.
Right.
Yeah. So, but if somebody's going to make a great song in English, I can see myself consuming it. So if you're going for the English market, of course, I also understand if you want to make a living in Latvia, it's going to be easier to do Latvian.
Yeah, because you can do concerts, you can do everything.
Tour the thing.
Yeah.
But I was very, like that lack of support. And then being in the radio with you, and I'm like, it finally happened by the randomest way, that after I went to every radio station and they were like literally laughing in our face. And I was in your radio station thinking, well, look at me now. No, I'm kidding. But it was kind of like very weird, like, it happens so randomly, because I ended up getting there because of the movies and not because of the music. So it was kind of like a mind fuck, to call it that way. Thank you for coming. I think it was a very interesting chat. I can tell you, I want to hear your music, because I feel, of all the processes that I've heard from everybody that has come here, you have a very artistic way of talking. So I'm expecting something very artistic. So I don't know what that even means. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I feel that I really like how you express about your own process. So I want to see what comes out of it. And I'm going to go and check out your music, because I know that I heard something of you, but I need to pay more attention.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming. I was going to show you my music, but I think I'm going to finish very soon, and I'm going to make a little presentation, and hopefully you can make it. And if not, I'll share my music. But I think I can make it's going to be something very small, because I feel a little bit intimidated. But yeah, you got.
Please invite me. Please.
Yes, we will. For sure, 1000%. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And for everybody, this was Esmeralda. She's an artist. Go check it out. We'll put all the links. See her music. Now that you know how she feels, what she thinks, try to have that in your head while you're seeing what she has created. I think that's always important, and it's something that it makes me very curious. So see you next time, guys.